Hi guys, it's Angie and welcome back to my Flosstube channel. Yeah, if you are new, this is my channel about cross stitch. Sometimes I have some other crafty stuff, but mostly it's just cross stitch. It has been 2 weeks since my last video. I did say that I probably wasn't going to film because I didn't think I'd do a whole lot of stitching over Thanksgiving week. And I actually did more over the Thanksgiving week than I did last week. So I could have filmed last week, but then I wouldn't have anything to share with you for this week. So I just went ahead and took the 2 weeks. I didn't work on a huge variety. I did work on some stuff and I did get some finishes done. So without any further ado, is that correct? Anyway, I will show you some finishes which are just in time, and then I will show you my stitchy progress. First off, you guys will remember Let's Bake that I made for my sister-in-law, and I have to adjust a little bit of stuff in the frame, but it is framed and ready to go. I'm not as super happy about this. I think I might need to run to the store and see if I can get a slightly smaller frame. This is a 12 by 12. I do want to go to Michael's and see if they have one that's just a little bit smaller. This is also the frame where the back part slides in and then it's got the little tabs that slide under, which of course with fabric makes it very difficult. I ordered this frame online because we've had a huge spike in numbers, sickness related stuff in our county, and so I'm trying to stay home more. So I ordered this online and it works, but if I do have to make a trip to a store for some other stuff that I just need to see in person. So when I go do that, I think I'll look for a slightly smaller frame with a different backing, and if I can, I might adjust this. If not, I will send this. She will love it regardless of if it's fancy framed or not. It doesn't look terrible. I mean, I think it still looks nice. It's just, it could always look better. And I'm gonna be extra critical about my own stuff anyway. So there's that one. The next one is the gift from my mother. This is part of what I need to run to the store for because, well, first I had made a trip to Walmart and I did find some fun fabric. Unfortunately, I can't find Star Trek related fabric, so I just picked up some blue fabric and I got my Star Trek pillow made and it looks so good. The only problem is when I bought the pattern, it says this makes a 14-inch pillow. Well, that is a 14-inch pillow insert. You can see how much extra fabric I have. So I do need to go and see about getting a slightly larger pillow insert so it looks more full and fluffy. But other than that, I feel like this turned out really, really well. I didn't think I would end up getting this made into the pillow, but it looks great. So with a slightly floofier pillow in there, I think it will be fantastic. I'm gonna stick it over here. And last but not least, this was one of the pieces of fabric that I picked up. It was in a giant stack at Walmart of Harry Potter fabrics. Oh, there's a spare thread up, a couple spare threads. I sewed this and then I had to restitch, unpick and restitch this a bunch because I made a mistake. I did this for the sewing the pillow together so you could stick the pillow in, and I did it wrong the first time, so I had to unsew the whole thing or rip the stitches out and then redo it. But I had my husband look at all the fabric and this is the one he chose. It's for his mom and he feels like his mom would really like this. And ta-da! The pillow is done. And I think this looks so good. It is so much better than I even imagined that it would be. I love it. I love it. And it almost makes me want to stitch some for my house, but I'm not. No, I've got the giant Harry Potter that's going to hang on the wall when it's finished, so I will be more than happy with that. I think So I didn't put any interfacing over the stitching on the inside, so it's still just the back of this. I heard that you're supposed to do the interfacing if you're going to stuff it with batting, because the batting will stick through the front of the pillow, but because this is a pillow insert, I didn't feel like I needed to do that, which is handy because it turns out I forgot to stitch the lightning bolt on Harry and I didn't add my name. So I can go back and fix those two things really quick before I mail this off to my mother-in-law. So gifts are done, and that's exciting. I have not finished my husband's, but I'm very, very close. So I will probably work on that this week or next week, and it'll get done and it'll be fine. And for his, it's just gonna get framed. But I am thinking about ordering the same fabric that I have for this. I want to order it, but I want to order 2 pieces so that I can make one of these pillows, and then one of there's 2 designs. There's one with Spock in the middle, and then there's one with a starship. So I want to make one of each, but I want to do it 1/1, so the pillows are much smaller than this. It'll be, what, 1/4 of the size, half the size? I'm not sure. 1/1. So I want to make some small pillows to put on the lazy boy that we have in our office, because that's where my husband displays his Star Trek ships, and I think that would look cool. So that's kind of my future plans for next year, maybe, or far in the future, I don't know. So those are my full finishes. Like I said, I noticed a couple little things that I need to fix on the Harry Potter pillow, so I'll get that done. But I'm pretty happy. I'm gonna get those wrapped and put in boxes and shipped out this next week. They may not get there in time, I don't know. It all depends. So the last 2 weeks, I mainly just worked on a couple. I'm just double checking to make sure I know what I worked on. Yeah, so I mainly just worked on 4 different projects, trying to get loads of stitches, and they managed to fit all my prompts, so that worked out really well. I put in a lot of stitches here on Middle Earth. So here's Middle Earth, and I mainly got a lot of this diagonal work done. For Middle Earth, I was just doing, if you've been watching for a while, you'll know that I was just doing straight lines, but then I got a little bit scared because a lot of people have been posting on different Facebook groups, well, what do you do if you see where your line breaks are, or your page breaks or whatnot? And a lot of people suggested if you do stair steps or diagonals, it helps to hide those. I personally don't see them. I can see lines. I mean, you can see the lines here, but those are where I have fishing line underneath the threads, and I haven't pulled the fishing line out yet. So I've got fishing line under there, and I mean, that doesn't really bother me. It's supposed to be a map with crinkles and stuff, so, but I mean, you can see I've got a lot of fishing line. That's how I gridded the fabric to begin with before I found the pens, which I prefer the pens, so now I just draw my grids. Like, here's a piece of fishing line. Oh no, just kidding, that's my needle. I don't know what I'm doing. But, so I decided to try and do diagonals, and it's kind of fun doing the diagonal. So I've been having fun with it. Who knows? Stitch how I want, right? So that is my progress on Middle Earth. I can't say exactly how many stitches I put into that total, but I mean, I put a decent amount in. I also worked a lot more on Magic Study, which again, with Magic Study, you're definitely going to see a difference this time as opposed to last time. But even then, if you realize that I probably put a good 2,000 to 3,000 stitches in this over the last 2.5, 3 weeks, it doesn't look like it, but I'm stitching this on 28 count 1/1. So these stitches are super tiny. And I don't know if I can get you in close enough to see, but I mean, they are just teeny tiny little stitches. So there's a lot of stitches going on into this. And it's actually not been as hard as I thought it would to stitch the tiny stitches until the squares start getting so full, and then you see little dots here and here, and then I have to figure out where that is. And thank heavens for Pattern Keeper. If I did not have this on Pattern Keeper, I wouldn't even know what color to stitch in there. It would be a nightmare. So Pattern Keeper saves the day for a lot of this, but I'm really enjoying this. This is a lot of fun to stitch. So that is my magic study. I put a lot of stitches, at least 2,000, on my giant Harry Potter. It doesn't look like it because you won't notice a huge change, but these flags, I mentioned it before with the Harry Potter pillow, these flags have a lot of stitches in them. So mainly I finished Ravenclaw and did Hufflepuff and Gryffindor, and those are the main stitches that I put in on giant Harry Potter. And then I also went down and did some adjustments. If you remember from the last time, Fluffy was just plain brown. I went in and added the contrast colors and did the back stitching so Fluffy looked like Fluffy. I've added spiders. I've got to finish the spiders over here because obviously in Chamber of Secrets, Ron has to follow the spiders. And then Norbert, I've moved Norbert in this pattern down here where we have all the teachers. Norbert is standing by Hagrid, but I am going to put, I'm making adjustments and alterations, just like I added Quidditch and the mirror and stuff. I'm adding other alterations. And so Norbert got moved up here because they find him in the first book. So he's up here with the first book. And then I'm pretty sure, I can't remember, but I think Quirrell is going up here too. Possibly, I have it mapped out in a notebook somewhere. And then I think the invisibility cloak. I'm charted an invisibility cloak, and I think that's going up here as well because he receives the invisibility cloak in the first book. And they don't even have it anywhere on the pattern. So I'm trying to add things. I'm also trying to figure out if when we get down here, if I can figure out how to get the hippogriff. If I can get him in here, then I will, but I'm not sure because I didn't start thinking about adding him until I'd already finished this, and I feel like if I want to add Buckbeak, I would need to get rid of the doe, which is actually okay because in the third book, you don't actually see Harry's mom's Patronus. You don't know that she was a doe until the 6th book. You only see this Patronus. So I feel like if I unpicked this and put Buckbeak there, it might make more sense. That's just my thought. So, and some of them, the stitching for these two I got from a Harry Potter group, or from a stitching Facebook group where somebody said, hey, here's a screenshot of the stitch I added. If you want to chart from my picture, go ahead. So I was able to do that because a lot of people were very kind to share. Some of them I just tried to chart myself based on pictures I'd seen, so they're not exact, but they are similar. So the spiders are on me. I also added fox in here, but I didn't do that this week. Mostly what I did recently was the flags and Norbert and just some little details. So that's what I did. And this is where we're at. I'm sorry, so this is how much I've gotten done. So I've got some work, and I'm not in a anxiously awaiting to get this finished. This is not one of those projects that I'm just like, I've got to finish. In fact, I don't really have any that I feel like I gotta finish, except my husband's present. This is just a fun one to stitch on, but when I start stitching, I don't want to stop. So it's really nice to have this one available to do prompts and then try to fit as many as I can because I just get sucked in. And then the last thing I worked on was my Grimm Fairy Tale Cell. We had to, for magical stitches, we had to spell out Kingdom Keepers, and we had to find a cross stitch that had objects or things in them that started with all those letters, and I managed to find one for every letter, 14 different things from my Grimm's Fairy Tale Cell. And this one I only stitch on for prompts because it's perfect for prompts. There are so many things, like we had to stitch on one with a chicken. Well, guess what? There's a chicken right here. We had something that starts with a D. Well, here's a donkey. You know, something that starts with an E. Well, this dog has ears. This princess is imprisoned. She's sitting down, so you can see she's got knees, and this one's got elbows and eyes and a pond, and there's just, yeah, it works. It works out really, really well. And so I was able to get almost 2,000 stitches out of this week. And I've almost finished the first 4 months of the stitch along. So this is January, February, March, and April, I believe. So, and this one's completely done. This one's almost done. There's some bits of the alphabet. I just haven't decided if I'm going to stitch the alphabet. I'm going to stitch the Once Upon a Time, but I don't know if I'm going to stitch the random alphabet letters. I might not. We'll see. So I'm leaving the alphabet letters for last. Right now I'm just stitching the motifs and the main words and the little flowers. So that's where I'm at with Grimm. And I've got my needle minder from Stitch and Button. I don't know if you noticed I had my, was it Leaky Cauldron one on my Harry Potter. So they get put to good use. So thank you, Vicky from Stitch and Button. I mean, I know I paid you for the needle minders, but I'm just grateful that you had needle minders available and was willing to take my money for them. So that's it. This is a super short video, which is funny because you'd think after 2 weeks I would have a much longer video, but nope, I don't. I just did a little bit of stitching. I have started a project. When my husband and I got married, my aunts and uncles all pitched in and got us a really nice dining table set, but it's a smaller dining table. It fits 4 comfortably, but not 6. It only had 4 chairs. The chairs between all of the many moves have been pretty much destroyed, but the table itself is still really solid and in really good condition, except that because we had a bigger family, we got a bigger dining table, so that has been used as a crafting table for the last 8 to 10 years, at least. Yeah. So obviously there's paint and drips of glue and stuff on the top, so I am working on refinishing the table. I'm only refinishing the top, the bottom, and the legs I'm going to paint white probably, or maybe a light gray. So I've already started sanding down the top. I haven't taken video because it was really windy and cold outside on the day that I was doing this, and I still need to finish. It needs one more good sanding, and then I need to put the stain and sealer on it. So I've got a picture of it, what it looked like before I started sanding, and a picture of what it looked like after, which I will insert. And then if I can, I don't know when I'll finish it. It's been really cold and windy, and I don't want to, I have to take it outside to do this. I don't have an indoor workshop. And so I need to wait till it's a nice day so I can start work first thing in the morning to get the sanding and put on a coat, let it dry really well, sand it, and put on another coat. We're going to be using this table for board games. It's going to be in our basement as a gaming table. So we want it to have a good finish on it. We want it to be smooth, and so it's not catching cards or other various things as we're playing games on it. And yeah, so that's the other project I've been working on, just sort of slowly. And that's it. So this video is 20 minutes long. Well, I've got a lot of stitching to do this week so that I can give you more content next week. And so I hope everybody has a great week, and I will talk to you later. Bye.